Hello, everybody. Greetings from Malaysia, from the Global Support Center in Kuala Lumpur. We're going to wait a few seconds before we start, and meanwhile, I'm going to present myself. My name is Jorge Salas, but my nickname is Coco, and I work for the Global Support Center here in KL as the manager of adult and young adult development. And here today, I have two gentlemen that we're going to have this discussion. It's more a discussion than a presentation with me. And I want to introduce first to Lincoln. Hello, Lincoln. How are you?
Hi, Coco.
Please, could you introduce yourself? Tell us what do you do?
Yes,
with scouting.
my name is Lincoln, and I'm from Malaysia, currently still in Malaysia. And in my NSO, I'm actually the National Program Secretary. And of course, with WOSM, I'm the members of the volunteer support team under the operational framework. Yeah,
great.
That's about me.
Thank you very much. And I also have with us to Amir. He's not close to us in this moment. He's in like 8 hours difference of from us in England. Hello, Amir.
Hi, Coco. Hi, Lincoln. Lovely to see you. And hello, all the participants. And thank you very much for joining us. So it's Amir Chima from the UK. I'm a group scout leader here and also a WOSM consultant and supporting a project with Coco as a co-lead for recruitment and retention of adult volunteers. Thank you.
Great. So we're going to explore a little these two topics about recruiting and recognition adults, because as we know, scouting, it's a movement for young people, of and for young people, but supported by adults. And the adults sometimes have a very important role that can influence a lot in the scouting that we provide, but we need to be careful about the recruiting and recognition. So Amir, can we start, please?
Yes, sure. I'll go into presenter mode, and if you have any questions, do enter them into the chat as we go along, and I will share at the end the code for you as well. So you have to wait to the end, but we do have a code for you. Are you able to see my slides?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So we asked some questions and requested through a survey some feedback from members. And the two questions that were asked were, what are the good practices in your local adult recruitment area? What do you think's the best that works for you? And the second question was around, what's your best recognition moment? How would you like to be thanked, appreciated, awarded, or rewarded? So those are the two questions we asked. And as a result of those, then we've come up with some of the feedback from there. So I'll hand over to Lincoln to ask, and then I'll share some thoughts.
Okay, great. Thank you, Amir. So based on the two surveys, we will start with the first one. And I think, can we know or can we hear about some of the responses from perhaps from Bangladesh? Because it seems that it has the highest responses.
So we had quite a lot of members reply from Bangladesh, and probably 50% of them could be young people. So from the adult leadership responses, a lot of that was around being able to appreciate and thank the leaders, and how when people do the service to others and help other people, we should always thank them and appreciate them. So that was a key. The other area obviously is Indonesia, Saudi Arabia. Those are the top 3 areas where people provided feedback from.
Great. Perhaps I'm a little bit of bias here. Can I also know Malaysia, perhaps? There are 9 members, I think.
Malaysia, I would need to sort of check our extract in terms of what exactly was said by them. But I'll do that in a second. I'll stop screen sharing. The results of everybody putting all this information I've summarized, and we can see that in our next slide. So if we think about where do adult leaders come from, and the main top 3 areas are from teachers, parents, and former members of the Scout movement. So if you think about those 3 areas, then there's people that want to help and support in that respect for what kind of motivates them to do that particular thing. But what we found from the summary is that we need to first think about the person and be flexible for them and seek the positive intentions and motivations that they have that they are seeking to achieve. So that's the first sort of the top tip, if you like, that's coming back from the feedback that people have given. That's sort of adapt to the person, find out what they want, and tailor the roles to that, or provide tasks and roles for what they're seeking to achieve. In terms of picking some from here, is there any that particularly stand out for you, Lincoln?
Yes, particularly ask parents and also adapt to person, because recently I actually had a chat with some of the members, and we find that actually in Malaysia, particularly, more than 90% of our Scout troops is actually school-based. So we actually involve actively with the scouters who are teachers from the school. And then, of course, when we deal with schools, we will have to deal with the parents as our main stakeholders as well. So in terms of recruitment, these two actually really stand out for me, because we tend to have obstacles. Because when we talk about volunteering, and the recruitment, we're actually looking at a scout leaders or perhaps an adult volunteer coming on board, right? That they volunteer themselves. Yeah. But when it comes to school-based troops in Malaysia, particularly, we have problems where teachers were asked to be scout leaders in their schools. So, and in a lot of times, they didn't actually get to say whether they want or not. But we try our best to be able to perhaps I would say perhaps to get them on board on the to be able to appeal to their volunteer side of them. Yeah.
So what you're saying is we need to think about the different scouting models we have across the world and tailor our recruitment based on our models. So if we have a school-based model, we would need to think about things differently. If we have a community-based model, that's slightly different approach, and a sort of faith-based model might be slightly different as well. And there could be other models where we might be working in a unique scenario in a hospital. There might be some additional needs or disabilities, accessibility needs that people might have that we might need to work with. So think about creative ways and different models. But either way, you have to ask. Think about what is it you need and ask the person. The key question that I always ask is, under what circumstances would you be happy to volunteer as an adult leader for us? So under what circumstances would you be happy to volunteer as an adult leader for us? Then they may say, oh, if I have this criteria or that support or this training, then we help and find that training for them, find the additional support for them, find the resources, and then say, there you go. we have found these things. Now, please do help and volunteer. And then on an ongoing basis, we would obviously help and support them so that we can continually develop and improve. And as we know, life happens, and throughout life circumstances, things change. So always need to be flexible and be aware of this as we go through that. So in a school scenario, it's mainly teachers, and they need to be trained, motivated, encouraged, supported, and given things that will help them in that process. In a community, in a faith-based, maybe we're asking parents, former members. So from the parents' perspective, the support is more about they're not sure if they've not been a scout before or what to do. So it's giving them the confidence, the trust that the support is available for them there. If there are former members, so then they're familiar with scouting and they'll run a fantastic program, because when you run a fantastic program, as we know, the young people are our priority, then the young people will keep coming, and it's supporting those adult leaders running that amazing program. There'll be different processes in different National Scout organizations, so we would follow those. A key learning is Scouting is about family. We're joining a local, national, and international family. So remembering that and supporting people and helping them bring their family and their wider connections together to Scouting, and support everyone in that perspective as well. In a parent sense, parent rotas is a good way, recruitment camps, events, training, those all help with them. One that stood out for me was like ham radio. So I'm not sure if that's a short for something or that is being used for recruiting people. So since we are doing our JOTA-JOTI this weekend, it's sort of very sensible to include that kind of thinking around social media, radio, TV, press, campaigns to look to recruit. And then Coco would make sure that I do mention this if I miss it out. We have amazing WASM resources already. Your each National Scout organization has amazing resources, and we have some, and we're developing some further. So is there any questions from any members coming through?
Yes, we have one from Henry, and he asked, what does adapt to person mean here? What does person mean here?
So if somebody is interested, for example, in my local scout group, they want to help support climbing. They don't want to run the beavers, cubs, or scouts on a weekly basis, but they just want to support climbing. And that's their interest. So we will help and support them in getting their permit, and that will be their role. So they will just run climbing, for example. Similarly, if somebody wants to, depends on the age range they want to work with, if they're better to run activities and programs, then that's where you'd ask them to help. Or somebody might be better as a trustee or a board member to help with the finances, with the communications, with the website. So it's sort of tailoring based on their motivations and needs.
Yes, yes. And I want to emphasize the part of the needs, because we usually think or believe that we go to scouting only because I want to help the kids, to help young people. Yes, it's true. It's very true, but not always we are only for that. We want to feel connected. We have to feel belonging to something bigger, to something with a big purpose, as is scouting. But also we want to connect with new people. Maybe we are new in the town and we want to meet new persons. And as we were scouts in other place, it's easiest for us discuss about something common. So it's important when we think about the recruitment, how is the environment where this adult is going to work in the scout group? No, do you have any kind of moment for reflection or for share, maybe some food or maybe some moment all together? So this kind of little details can be the ones that make difference when we talk about the recruitment, because one thing is that the person arrives and found a lot of people doing activities that it's good, no? But at the end, they close everything and they go to their houses. There's no moment to share. There's no moment to give this sense of family that Amir was describing. So it's so important that we try to find these little things, these little details that helps to engage everyone, no? To feel this sense of we are belonging in something greater than us, and we are contributing actively to this, no? So yes, that's from my side. Or maybe Lincoln can share a little about this, what he think.
Yes. I would like to add on to what Coco has just said about when we talk about recruitment here. Personally, I feel that the target group, probably, I would say, it will be those adults that not like us, probably. They don't have they were not scouts when they were young. So they will need something, they will need, like what Coco said, they need to feel that they belong to us. Like Amir say, it must belong to a family, it must belong to the local scouting community, at the national and even at the international community. So I feel that is very important, because that is sustainability that we are talking about. And like adult members like us, like myself, perhaps I have been a scout since young, so it's very easy for me to find the motivation to because I can always reflect. So that's, I think what Coco said has really hit the point, is the reflection, because we always reflect. Like myself, I always reflect the good memories, the happy moments that I have when I was way younger, when I was a boy, you know. So as we are adult leaders now, so we find that, oh, okay, giving back is something that we want to. So whatever moments that we have, the down moments and stuff, we always have in us this residual memories that we have to reflect on. But it will not be the same for those who just joined us, the adult leaders. So I think what Coco said is really true. So we need to find resources to help them. We talk to them, make them come on board, and to feel that what we have actually gone through, and to feel that they actually belong. So once we feel that we belong to this community, I think the sustainability of the motivation will slowly come, and that will sustain them, I think, in the long run. Thank you. That's from me.
Amir, let's back with you.
Thank you very much. I'll just share the screen again that we were working through. I was just seeking the Malaysian response. So can you see that okay?
Yes, it's a small, it's in not presentation view, it's in normal view.
Okay.
Can you put it in presentation view?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay. And with these seconds that we have free, I'm going to mention one tradition of the team of adults when I work in my country. And there's a food that we call salchipapa. Okay, it's very simple. It's French fries with sausage and with mustard, ketchup, mayonnaise, and it's all that. But in some point of my life as adult volunteer, it was all Saturdays after the meeting, we have a reflection moment all together, and then we go all together to eat. No, so it was something that it was almost mandatory as the meetings, but it's not was something mandatory because you need to do it because you feel. And that moments you start reflecting about the scouting and how you apply the things, you discover what the kids learn. And because it was a beautiful moment, because it's not only a moment that the people from the CAPS, the scouts, discuss about CAPS. It's everyone can discuss about everything. So we build the idea of program, what we want to offer, the type of scouting as group we want to offer together, no? And then we go to it, so it makes to bound very well. So with that, we recruit a lot of people that either was not a scout before, but it is something not a scouting, but that helps you to bound to the team, to the people. Sorry.
Thank you, Coco. No, Lincoln, I just copied and pasted the Malaysia response. So the key there is about a strong curriculum, activities for the leadership, scoutship, which is the WASM tool that we can use, giving respect to people and carrying out campaigns regularly throughout the country. So that's an amazing response from Malaysia. So thank you for that. And we shall continue to moving into now the second part of the question, which was more around the how do we thank people, and what was the individual's most rewarding moment? What was that point that they thought, that was fantastic? And what sort of words then came out as a result of that? So as you can see, a wide spread, but if you take that in the spirit of there is some young people within that, the spread, but it is Bangladesh, very active, Indonesia is very active, and Saudi Arabia, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia members very active in responding. And I think that probably also reflects the membership joining JOTA-JOTI as well, in terms of how many members are coming through that. So that gives you a feel for where and how many. So this is the list. Move over a little bit. Last two are Portugal and Philippines. Again, as you can see, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, Sri Lanka, and a few members from the rest, and individual members from the rest of the list responded. So any queries around that, Lincoln?
We have space in APR. Please go ahead, Lincoln.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, yeah. Since we have young adults, right, Amir, so perhaps we can have a few examples of what could be the form of recognitions that our young people would want, probably, or have received. Okay.
I will need to check the responses for that, which I'll come back to. Some around the role, we probably don't have all the ages, but maybe rovers or that age range, we could look at that. So on the responses and what we've thought about areas, you have internal recognition, appreciation, awards. They could be either a virtual thing, like something that's been created and shared, or it could be something physical that's given out or handed or presented, or it could be appreciation, just thank you, or just like mentioning like, yeah, you did great there, thank you very much for that. Or what, try and link it back to the thing that they did. So you know that thing you did, that was amazing. So it doesn't have to be a medal or a trophy or a massive certificate. But again, recognition is about thinking about the individual, the person. How best would they like to be thanked? Some members want to be thanked in front of their young people, some in front of their family. Some might have a higher purpose and not want physical recognition in front of people. That's embarrassing for them. They might not like that. Some might like that. That's significant, the trophy, the medal, the pomp and ceremony. So think about the person. What is it? How best do they like to be thanked? What's their motivation and driver? How can we help them? For me, I was just thinking, obviously, reward is from Allah, so that's a higher purpose. But seeing the young people doing well, progressing through scouting, that young person that's shy and doesn't want to go on the zip wire, and supporting them to go on it and coming down and going, yay, I did that. That's for me the thanks. Somebody that has was very talkative in the sessions and wouldn't be quiet, and now they're a lawyer because they can express themselves well. That for me is the thanks. They're like our children. They grow up and they do things and hopefully do well. And again, success is relative and everybody thinks of success in a different way. For me, it's about the young people being content, or when they grow up into adults, obviously being their best and doing their best, but being content and happy. So if we can achieve that, obviously being a scout leader is a privilege. We are called upon to do this service. So everybody has different ways of they like to be appreciated and thanked. But yeah, even somebody like the parents saying thank you, the young person saying thank you, or doing a little card, that might mean more to somebody than a gold medal. Yeah. So think about what is it that works best for people. Any thoughts on that one, Lincoln, from your side as well, and Coco?
If I may go first, because I think it's probably a little bit personal, because not only that in Scout that I'm the Scout leader, but as a profession, I'm also a teacher. So I think the one that always brings me joy will be when the students themselves actually come and thank you for the things you have done for them. Because when we talk about, I mean, personally, I feel that when we talk about recognition, appreciation, we always talk about what will be the NSO's form of recognition for our leaders. But then when we talk about parents, like what Amit have said, parents, and even our children themselves, when have achieved, for example, like in Malaysia, they achieve King Scouts, for example, they will come and thank you. And of course, few years back when I had this little dream, I would say that perhaps if I live long enough to see some of these King Scouts continue to make a name for themselves, perhaps when they are famous in their maiden speech, my name will be mentioned. That will be great. That is a small little dream that I always have. But yeah, but I always feel that students' words, messages, simple ones would also actually make kind of a great impact on us in terms of recognition and appreciation. Yeah, so that's from me. Yeah, what do you think, Coco?
For me, I have three sides, I think. The first one makes me travel in the time to the year 2006 or 7. I was in that moment 4 years Scout Master in the troop, and they make us at the end of this program cycle that we have for 6 months. One patrol comes and they bought a certificate from the national store that say that it was a blank certificate, the ones that you feel handily, and the patrol gifted me that certificate, saying that I was being a good leader that program cycle. It was for me very meaningful, very meaningful, because it starts from youth, from young people, and you can receive something from my side, from the National Scout Commissioner, and it's fine. But receiving this from young people, for me, it's too meaningful. It's too strong. My second moment is when I received my first good badge. In my country, you receive one good badge by each section or role that you have. So I have like a lot, but the first one I received it in my scout group. It's not usual that in Peru you receive it in events or on the national office, but I received it in my scout group with all my generations of scouts in that moment. So it was awesome. So for me, it's very important to be close to people that you are helping them to develop and see them success. As Amir, for me, it's important. I feel very happy when I have the opportunities to receive something from a higher level, but it all depends about the person, no? And the last side, it's one time I really want to have a coaching course, but I don't have that money in that moment. It was around 2009, 10. I was finishing the university, and money was not the thing that I have too much in that moment. But my scout group asked me, what do I need? I tell them that I really want the coaching course, but I don't have the money, and my scout group pays for me that coaching course. So
that's amazing. Yeah.
yes, and it's about that, how the environment that you develop in your scout group supports this adult, and not only in scouting things, but in everything that they want in their life. So the engagement that you generate to the scout group and the work that the volunteer do, it's going to be very, very, very strong. So yeah, so the recognition can come in different ways, as Amir said.
Thank you. So just thinking about that and what people have replied in the survey, this is now thinking about what did it mean to them? What did that either medal, award, certificate, thank yous? So some people have said they would go out for a meal together, and some people would say they'd do a reflection together and have thanks. But as a result of doing that, they felt amazing. Some had just in a big gathering, an applause, a training course, a camp, an event, a ceremony. But it's that congratulations, being excited. For some it was fabulous. Some of them, and for me as well, my best moment was being given the opportunity in 2006 to take 24 young people on Hajj, which is the annual pilgrimage for Muslims to Mecca. And that's my like peak moment, amazing opportunity. And again, some members support and service to others on major events like that they thank people. For some, it's their special moment. For some, it's an unforgettable moment. I did have one person that is still waiting. So that NSO needs to help and have a way to thank that individual. So they said, I've not had one yet, a thank, appreciation, or certificate. So that's why at the bottom right, you may see the waiting comment. So it's about being respectful, appreciative, and considerate, so that if we're grateful to others, we show gratitude and thank them, we will have more, and we will be given more as well. A lot of the young people that responded, like you were asking, Lincoln, was about thanking their leaders, was about being appreciative of the work that they've done. Then it's more about if you're able to link your scouting to your work, because as a young person, either further education, or you're looking to go into wider qualifications or work or apprenticeships, it's good to know that what you've done in scouting, you can take and you can demonstrate. Maybe in LinkedIn, you have recommendations, or we create something there that says this person has done this in scouting, that you can link and share with people in your professional world and in demonstrating that you've got some amazing competencies. So anything else sort of jumps out to you from there, Coco or Lincoln?
Coco, you go first, perhaps this time.
No, nothing to say by the moment, but well, it's interesting discussing about how the things that we learn in scouting can impact outside. I have we use Dropbox a lot in WASM, but I remember when Dropbox appears years ago, and the first place that I learned to use Dropbox was scouting. For scouting, for the programs that we develop each Saturday, that we need to have the outlines of this, and so I started using it, and I developed a system with a specific order and codification because I like that part. So when I started working, my first intern, I was working in a little enterprise, and they need this help to develop to have all the files in order. So I use Dropbox. I use the same codification as the Scouts. Instead, the names of the units, we have the names of the areas of the company, and it works very well. So it was very interesting how the things that I learned in scouting, not specifically the ones related to the education, to manage groups that are also very, very useful, helps me. Nowadays, we work with an application that is called Smartsheet in WASM. And well, I have just started working here for 5 months in WASM, but now I help my area and other areas using the Smartsheets. Why? Because it's the cousin of Excel, and where I learned to use Excel with Scouts, because I like to have everything automated in my list for my units, for my reports and everything. So I start learning Excel because of scouting, and that helps me in the life, a lot in the life. So yes, it's incredible how scouting can impact in your life if you are able to enjoy all the things that scouting can offer. And yes, always being that person that wants to learn and do the things. And I'm sure that all the adults that do that in some point in the scouting, they are going to be rewarded in scouting, in life, and if you have lucky, outside scouting. So that's something that I would like to share about the idea that Amiris mentioned.
Thank you. A moment to reflect, and I'm curious that you may have some questions that you may have asked already through the chat or Q&A functionality, or some other questions. So let me just give Coco a moment to find them, and then we can hopefully answer to this.
We have not a question, but a comment from Henry. He said, we make a very big ceremony for those leaders who leave our pack. Capmasters get a gift and the last country flag that flew at our camp out. We also recognize leaders and those who help out by giving gifts, because it means a lot to get that help. Great. Interesting. The idea is, if it works, it's good. Mm-hmm.
The other note we had was, can we translate, please? And I think that question was from an Arabic speaker. So apologize, we haven't got that. It's in English only here today. Maybe somebody could help do that for you. But yeah, it's لا تتكلم العربية. I cannot speak Arabic. Can read it
yes.
and yeah, speak not speak conversationally.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yes, it's something that I hope next year we're going to improve it, to have sessions in different languages, and I hope Arabic it's one of them. It's a lot of effort, so be aware to all our participants, because if we want to improve this next year, we need you as a volunteer to work with us, and maybe you can translate it, or maybe you can deliver this session in your language. So be aware. I'm quite sure that we're going to have news in the next months to all of you to participate as volunteers in JOTA-JOTI. From my side, that I'm managing the part of adults in scouting in the global level, I'm going to make my best effort, and I will have the help of Lincoln and Amir and other people. So just keep on the loop and wait for news.
So in anything else, Lincoln, from yourself in closing before we make the big reveal?
Okay, great. So just a comment, perhaps just a reflection on the big review. Oh my God, so fast. Okay, just a short one. When I was much younger, or perhaps started off as a young adult, I always find that I always in dilemma, because as a scout, we have been indoctrinated that we shouldn't ask for recognition, because like Amir said, that it is for a higher purpose, right? Because we are doing scouting. But as we grow older, I feel that there are moments where um, we need some sort of recognition, but I always struggle to want to ask for recognition, because then it will be something not so scoutingly. So how do we find the balance? People should recognize us, but we shouldn't ask for it. So that sort of things.
I think if we all follow gratitude and thankfulness and be grateful for what we have, what we do, what others do, that should naturally create that family atmosphere, that culture of sharing and thanking people, and support for that. And in that sort of spirit, I will thank Michelle for being our technical support, Coco for obviously pulling all this together, Lincoln for coordinating our hosting, and
Thank you so
and
much.
also thank all of you for attending. And I have an ask of you: please thank those people, your loved ones, your family and friends that let you do scouting. Thank them as well. So we do need to be appreciative of that, and maybe Coco, you can put the code in the chat, so people have that for purposes that we need, and
yes.
and share that. But yeah, do thank them. And it's Graham Colson from Scotland in United Kingdom who always says that to us. So the message to thank the ones that let you do scouting and support you in there. So hopefully you've captured the code, and if there's any final questions. Okay, comments and thanks from participants for us.
I'll go first. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Keep doing scouting. Keep supporting the dreams and all the things that youth people need. We are here for that. Adult in Scouting, we are here for support young people, for work with youth program, for work with organizational development, to develop the best scouting that we can. So we are here working from Watson for you, and we are hoping that you are making that for all your scouts around the world. So thank you very much. Lincoln.
First of all, thank you so much, especially to Coco for inviting me to come on board, because this is my first time, or perhaps the first first term with a world level volunteers. And thank you, Amir, so much, because as yesterday, I actually asked Amir for help to give me some pointers, and he was very, happy to help me out. So I'm still learning, and all of us is. And also just a final remark about the translation just now. I think different languages, right, for the future. I'm also actually working closely with our WOSM languages team. So I think maybe I can pass on some messages to them, and then we will see maybe next year we can come back stronger with options in terms of different languages for interpretation. Thank you. That's from me.
Thank you, Lincoln. And just to close, then just remember to recruit, just ask the person, go up and ask them. Don't assume, believe it's possible. It is possible. Have that belief, it is possible. And then do thank them, support them through their life events, and they will be there for you and for scouting and for young people. And we're there to help young people be their best. Excuse me. Thank you Have an amazing JOTA-JOTI and amazing time. Bye, everyone.